Hi y'all. So I just had one moment. I was recording this and totally did not even record. So that's how my night's going. Um, so I want to talk about my family. So this just goes to show it could be anybody. So just look out for your loved ones, care about how they're feeling, what they're doing. Just keep an eye on them. I am going to talk about my aunt Juanita Gomez. So there are some who call her Tijuana, Aunt Juana. um, and it's like Tijuana, Mexico, because we're from Mexico. Anyway, um, so she and her daughter, Geneva Gomez, my cousin, who I did not know very well, but I had met and we had gotten along, and I had seen that they absolutely loved each other. I mean, it was just like, it was great. It was an envious relationship because they loved each other like that. But my aunt, she murdered my cousin, Geneva. And so my aunt was 51 at the time, and my cousin was 33, and they lived in South Oklahoma City. This is my second video for Oklahoma. And I figured, why don't I tell you guys, something about me? Not necessarily like I'm the one doing the crime, but that is part of my family. So, what she had stated was that she felt that my cousin Geneva was possessed by the devil. Um, so my aunt and my cousin were both there at their home in South OKC, and don't really know what happened in there, but we can kind of see through the evidence that my aunt brutally beat my cousin, so bad she was unrecognizable. Her boyfriend slash fiance said he could not recognize who she was. Knew it was her, but could not recognize her. And sadly, he is the one that discovered her. So the story is that my aunt had told my cousin that she cannot be with Francisco anymore. But her being an adult, first she was like, okay, whatever. But then whenever push came to shove, they still wanted to get married, and the plans had already been made before any of this. And so he had come over to apologize, and my aunt was being very weird. And so he had asked to see her, and my aunt was very saying things that it just didn't make sense until he opened and saw her. She was sprawled out on the floor in the shape of a cross, and she had a huge cross shoved down her throat. It's one of those ones that are typical of Catholicism. So it was pretty bad. When the police arrived, they had noticed that she had cleaned her. She had cleaned areas in the house, trying to hide stuff. Everybody thought that it was like her way of trying to come to a insanity plea. Because anytime you start talking about religion, sometimes you just sound really crazy. But everybody, forensic psychologists and the such, they saw right through that. But another gruesome part of this story is that my aunt totally ripped out all of my cousin's hair. I can only imagine how, I don't want to imagine how she felt before she died. But Francisco, when he was there, he saw her. He tried to escape. He was like, "Oh, I gotta go tell the police." So he goes towards the back door, right? But no, my aunt is posted up with the door locked. He ain't going nowhere. And she had, as he had darted, she had put him in a headlock. But he eventually got away from her, thankfully, because I'm pretty sure she probably would have killed him too if she was able to. But he got out. He called the police. My aunt is in for first-degree murder. She's been convicted, sentenced to life without the possibility of parole because of how heinous it was, and it was ugly. I did not attend any of it. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I just didn't want none of that stuff on me. So it just, sometimes when you take religion too far, it clouds your, I don't know, like you can't think commonly straight because you've pushed that limit. And so it's just, I don't know. It just seems like, I had seen her before and her face looked totally different. And then whenever I see her face on the news, totally different. And it was absurd because she had no remorse. She did not care. The only thing she cared about was getting toilet paper in her cell. She had no remorse for my cousin. She didn't feel bad. I mean, this person that, she adored every single day, no matter who was around, it just is confusing. There's no way to make sense of that. So, yeah. I'm going to look and see. I don't think, this happened in August of 2016. And I had already told you about that. So cool. One of the things that my aunt said was that my cousin had rolled her eyes into the back of her head and started speaking in tongues, and that's the reason why my aunt believed that she was possessed. I don't know. Yeah, she had pled guilty, but I mean, I don't know. I don't get into the religious stuff. As far as like religion is not my faith, that's a different story. We could talk about that all day. But as far as like the religious symbols and different things, not only did she shove a crucifix down her throat, she also put some medallions in her throat. Like, how big did she think her throat was? It's just absurd. Oh, and my aunt, in doing this, she had bruises all over, and they asked her, like, what is this? Her fingers were messed up and stuff, and they were like, what's this? And they were like, well, I got it from her trying to fight the exorcism. Like, what? No, you're trying to kill her, and she's trying to protect herself. I mean, it just, I don't know. It's like insanity, but not insanity enough to put her away for being insane. It's insanity because she thinks straight. She got into something that made her change. So yeah. Something else that people were saying was that, and I even noticed this in that video of her arraignment, that she was cold and callous. Like, she didn't have any emotion whatsoever. Just perfectly fine. And mind you, my family, I have, including my own dad, I have 9 aunts and uncles. We have a huge family. My aunt, Juanita, she's the youngest girl. aunt, and it shocked everybody, because it was almost about a year after we lost our grandma, um, her mom, that all of this happened, and it just came out of nowhere. So just keep an eye on the people that you love, ask them questions, make sure they're okay, look for signs, because you want to go and find the peace that something can give you. But if you push it too far, or if you open yourself up to this stuff, you're going to make bad decisions. So I would just say, let's look out for the people around us. And yeah, this is a horrible story. I wanted to bring this one because it doesn't show who I am, but it does show a piece into my family. Um, there's a lot of stuff I could tell you about, but for the sake of it, a crime, this is what this show is. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. It's just, I also posted another one about another gruesome crime. That crime has not been solved, so go watch that video, and get the information. If you know anybody, or if you can pass it around, so then maybe a person who knows a person, yeah, all that. But yeah, this time I actually recorded. I am so happy. But yeah, if you guys have any video, if there's something that you think of that you want me to do, I'm going to try to do some in each state, because crime's everywhere. I mean, this stuff does not just happen in Oklahoma, I promise you. And it could be your family. I mean, it was my family, and I didn't, where did that come from? So just look out for yourself, you guys. Be safe. Have a plan if something's going on. Reach out to somebody if you're having a hard time. I mean, and even if you can't reach out to anybody, reach out to me. I'll help you. I mean, well, anyway, it's your girl, Trina Reed, and I really hope you guys would follow me, just because I love crime stories. I have watched crime my whole life, because it's the way criminals think. I don't know. I don't really know, but I've watched quite a bit of the ones who are pretty famous on YouTube, and I thought, well, that would be fun, talking about this all the time. Not that it's a good thing, because I wish there was no crime, but since there is, and since the stories need to get out, then, why not do it? Maybe the story that's brought up tomorrow could help somebody, the next day. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope you liked my intro video. Some of my information's on there. Please share, please like. Like I said, mention a story, whatever you want. If not, I'm just going to start trucking along and doing my own thing. So, here's Trina Reed signing out.